what's going on? My name's Timmy. I'm 10 years old, and I've been doing group work since like the first grade, so I'm kind of an expert.
Hey, I'm Sky. I'm 11 years old. I've worked in groups for as long as I can remember, and I feel like coming to an agreement in harmony has always been an issue for me.
A lot of people think that group members must work in harmony and agree on everything, but it's evident that individual independence is important, as consensus can actually diminish possibility. As a group, there's a shared goal, and diversity may offer different viewpoints, and therefore more variety of solutions.
What Timmy is trying to say about redundancy and diversity is that they're vital elements in a knowledge-producing system. It makes possible for agents to work together. Samenesses, is that a word? Such as common language, similar status, shared responsibilities, and common vision are important for social coherence and group stability. I should probably work on that.
Well, yeah, did she mention that redundancies among participants usually give the system its strength? Actually, it gives the system its strength. I know it sounds rough, but it makes it possible for one person to replace another. Systems that lack this redundancy are highly prone to breakdowns. Diversity among individuals is an equally vital ingredient as well.
Like last week, we were doing an assignment in class, and we had to color in a map. And I'll be honest, that was not easy. It's a good thing we were in a group and we could all bring something to offer, especially me. Different categories of expertise constitute a pool of possibilities that enable a collective to be innovative.
At the individual level, learning is an ongoing process of revising one's thoughts and actions to fit in with different circumstances. But that learning also affects the structure and cohesion of the group. And so at that level, learning is also a co-evolution of agents.
By individually learning and working with others, our collective knowledge system expands. Well, I already had enough knowledge, but anyways, after lots of time spent with other members of various groups, I believe we all move forward. I was already ahead. Not only with what we know, but how we socially interact with other members.
Through most of the 1900s, collectives, communities, and cooperative learning groups were seen as a potential support to individual learning. However, disapproving phrases were coined to warn against the negative impacts of group processes, such as groupthink from psychology and mob or herd mentality from sociology. More recently, however, attentions have been refocused on the incredible power of collective process, with the realization that it is possible for a group of people to be more intelligent than the most intelligent person in the group. Phrases that have emerged to refer to this phenomenon include hive mind and crowdsourcing.
Hi, my name's Kylie. I don't really like going to school because it's just too hard to focus. I always get bad grades and I always get in trouble for doodling on my work. I just don't really like it.
So this dude named Richard Nisbet contrasted between interpretive learning on a cultural level. And based on his findings from research on Eastern and Western cultures, we found lots of examples.
Okay, class, you can turn over your test and see what mark you got.
Obviously. What'd you get?
Got an F.
Minus. Yikes. I got an A+ again. Every time.
I give up.
I'm gonna get one again. Always win.
So in Western societies, people are motivated to work harder when they need success. But in Eastern societies, people are motivated to work harder when meeting failure. I gotta do better.
Hey Jace, what's up? So this idea from learning theories captures situatedness. I'm already situated half the time. Anyways, it states that all knowledge is situated in physical, social, and cultural contexts.
These elements, and in particular, the tools that make them available, contribute to the habits of thinking as they frame what is knowable, doable, and beable. Over the last 50 years, dozens of learning theories that are based on this principle have been embraced by educators, including social constructionism, situated cognition, social cultural theory, cultural historical theory, activity theory, actress network theory, distributed cognition, and semantic pedagogy. That was a lot.
Their major point of agreement is instructive. Individual cognition is entwined with social and cultural situation. These ideas are most commonly associated with work of Levi Vygotsky, I think he's important or something, and Piaget, I don't know, whatever.
For Vygotsky, learning was mainly a process of becoming acculturated. That is, habituating to social roles and incorporating cultural patterns of perceiving, interpreting, acting, etc. into one's own being.
We tend to reflect our social and cultural situation in our habits of perception, even if we don't consciously align ourselves with prevailing opinions and learnings.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm 10. I'm really confused because my teacher keeps talking about technologies, and I thought she meant technology as in like my MacBook or my Nintendo Switch that I got for Christmas, but apparently it's not that kind of technology.
Okay, class, I'm going to ask you to quickly point to the person that you think makes more money. Okay, now I'm going to ask you who you think you would rather be your teacher.
As you can see, what just happened is the two students demonstrated how we reflect our social and cultural situation in your habits of perception, even if we do not consciously align ourselves with prevailing opinions and learnings. The teacher ran the students through an implicit association test where the goal is to get people to demonstrate biases that are prevalent in their cultures, including racist, classist, sexist, and homophobic attitudes. It's not suggesting that everyone has ill intentions towards a group, but rather the implication is merely that human knowing is defined as situated.
Hi, I'm Mom. That's what people call me, I guess. Just don't put my age down here. I'll be okay with that. I have a son, TJ. He's going to the show. He's the best baseball player I know. All his teachers are like, focus on your damn academics. And I'm like, no, he's going to play baseball. He's got to practice every day.
What's up? I'm TJ, I'm 13. I'm going to the show. My teachers won't let me bring a baseball bat to school anymore, so I'm stuck with the yardstick. But like, that's all right. I'm going to the show anyway, so who cares about school? Well, other than my teacher who says I should focus on school, because then maybe I could go play college baseball and then go to the show and at least have an education. That makes sense, but like my mom thinks I'm just going to go and make money right away, so I might as well do that, right?
Hi, TJ.
Hey, Mom.
How was school?
Good. Where's Dad? Is he at Bourbon again?
Your guess as good as mine.
All right. Anyways, guess what we learned at school today?
What did you learn?
I don't remember. My teacher just told me, she's like, yo, you know how you always talk about you're going to go play professional sports, like major leagues and stuff? Well, she's like, maybe you should change your goals because you'll probably just end up at the bar like your dad always is. But like you always tell me, like, shoot for the stars, like I'm going to go to the show. So like, why can't I go to the show?
Well, I think you are, so you might as well go practice your baseball skills.
Thanks, Mom. I'll see you. I'm going outside.
See you, kid.
So my teacher says, and apparently this textbook that she gave my mom that she's supposed to read is that my parents' education actually predicts my future. My teacher says if my parents are smart and I'm going to be smart, but my dad's like never home and he's always at the bar, and I don't even think he has a job. So my teacher says I'm probably going to end up like him one day if I don't start focusing on school. She says I need to study and focus on my work and baseball isn't as important, but my mom thinks I'm the best baseball player like in the world. She has like ever seen even, so like I think I'm going to go to the MLB one day and I might as well just go like right out of high school, just pass that and just go, screw college. And yeah, so I'm just going to try to get as much practice done as possible instead of worrying about homework.
TJ, you have to throw 50 more pitches before you can come in the house.
All right, Mom, what's for dinner?
Vygotsky drew on Marx around the role of the collective in shaping the thinking of the individual. Marx held that one could not help but participate in the social and political structures of one's world, even non-action, such as choosing not to vote or staying silent on perceived injustices, is a participation in the way of the world is organized. The critical theory movement mainly concerned with the distribution of power and principles of social control. We must be open to the possibility that no belief is neutral and innocent. Maintaining power and control are implicit and therefore difficult to identify and affect. They tend to be woven through common belief systems, shared assumptions, and other taken for granted aspects of the world. In fact, the belief and value systems that support such practices are not really so distant from those that supported racially segregated schools in the United States, Indian residential schools in Canada, and Bantu education in South Africa, all of which persisted through much of the 1900s, and the legacies of which continue to cripple major subpopulations of these nations. Indeed, the best predictor of children's educational success is not their ability or aptitude, but the extent of their parents' education.
So, it's 20 years later, and I have some news for you. When I was in high school, about grade 11, I blew out my elbow. You can see the scar here. And my baseball career went down the tube from there. I never went to the major leagues, never made that money. My parents kicked me out right after high school, told me to get a job because I wasn't going to college or anything. And and now I'm here. And my teacher was right. I turned out just like my dad. I'm at the bar, and my only job right now is occupying this bar stool. So thanks for joining in my life journey.